Welcome to Trenton today on WBCB, hanging out with the mayor of the capital city of New Jersey, Gusciora, and some of the students from Trenton Central High School today. It's decision day, so we're going to hear about where these young people are going to continue their education. Looking forward to that. And Trenton and the nation getting ready for a Memorial Day weekend, and we'll check in with Mayor Gusciora about some of the Memorial Day observations within the city of Trenton. Good to be with you again, Mayor Gusciora. How's things?
Great. A little overcast, but the sun is shining on the city of Trenton.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to test Johnny to get us started. Also find out where Johnny, who is our audio guide today, we're helped out by a number of the students from Trenton Central High School that are in the communications department. Big thanks to Mr. Francis. Also a shout out to Mr. Caniglio. We're missing him today. Johnny, where are you going to school?
So I actually recently committed to go to Rider University.
Nice.
Right here, close to home. Of course, I'll be boarding there because, as my mom says, she doesn't care where I go, but I got to get out of here.
And are you going to be studying communications, continuing what you've been doing in the communications department here at the high?
So yes, I will be studying communications. I'm not 100% sure on exactly what part of communications, because to be honest, I love in front of the camera, being the news anchor, and then behind the camera and doing things like this, just working audio.
Gotcha.
So I know that I definitely want to work in the field, but in terms of the exact major, I'm not 100% sure yet.
All right, I want to put you to the test. Can you tell us where the Isle of Jersey is on the globe? Do you imagine the Earth?
Okay.
Where is the Isle of Jersey? Because I got to admit, I had no clue.
It's our namesake.
Yeah.
The Isle of Jersey.
The
Honestly,
Isle of Jersey.
For the longest, since New Jersey, if you ever look at a United States map, New Jersey is maybe the size of barely a dime on the actual map.
Yeah.
So for the longest, I don't even know
Quarter.
what New Jersey is. Or like, yeah. So honestly, I can't tell you.
Well, I thought it was off of Wildwood, but no, it's not.
Okay.
It's off of the coast of France somewhere.
Close to
real?
France, but it's an English possession.
All right, I bring it up because we're getting ready for Memorial Day, people doing traveling and
Right.
everything, and you recently took a trip to the Isle of Jersey.
I did, yeah.
And there's a certain connection between Trenton and the Isle of Jersey, like sister cities kind of deal. What was that all about? Sounds like kind of cool to continue that relationship. And
Well, it's got a long history back to the I believe it's the 1649 when King Charles I got beheaded,
this is our history lesson.
Wow.
and his son fled England, and they had a civil war in England, and his son fled to the Isle of Jersey and hid out.
I guess you got to hide out when somebody gets beheaded in the family.
Yes.
I would.
Yeah.
But the family was restored to the crown, and he became Charles II, and he was so grateful for his treatment and hospitality in the Isle of Jersey. He gave the governor of Jersey, who was then Lord Carteret, he gave them the land tract for New Jersey.
Here's a little colony for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Lord Carteret's wife was Elizabeth, so that's how we get Carteret and Elizabeth, New Jersey. And ever since then, that's our connection to England. We now have a sister city relationship with their capital, which is St. Helier, and so we do cultural exchanges between the two.
Nice.
We'd like to ultimately do a student exchange.
Wow.
That's something that we have to work on and raise the money for.
That'd be pretty
Okay.
cool.
That would be cool. Until today, I'm not going to lie, I've never heard of the Isle of New Jersey, but just based off of how he described it and the history behind it, connected to New Jersey, I would love to go there. Put me on a plane today.
Okay, we're going to sign you up.
Yeah, we're going to continue to test you, though, a little bit. All right,
Okay.
can you tell us what birthday America is nearing? We're getting set to celebrate a big milestone in
big
the
milestone.
journey of the USA, and Trenton is doing some things to celebrate, so we want to get into that, but
It's a tongue twister.
the name, how you describe this milestone always escapes me, so I'm glad Mayor Gusciora is here to tell us about it.
Okay. Can I get a little hint? Get a general
It's
area?
going to be in 2026. It's going to be next year
Okay.
on July 4th, 2026.
I remember in 1976 when we celebrated the bicentennial, and that was
That was
a pretty
easier.
that was big time.
But that was easier.
Oh,
for them.
easy to say for sure.
What is it?
So that was in 1976,
That was
almost 50
200.
years ago.
So what is that? A century?
It was 50 years since 1976, so we're gonna be celebrating our 250th anniversary
Wow.
since the founding fathers did the Declaration of Independence on
And that's like the
July 4th.
sesquicentennial.
Quincentennial.
Oh, yeah, I was way off. Way off.
Semi-quincentennial.
Yes.
I don't know how you can remember that, but listen, semi-quincentennial. Okay.
But because of that, Trenton is kind of highlighting some of the history that helped to form America, and like the barracks and all those places are going to be
Yeah,
celebrating.
We were known as the turning point of the war. At that point, everyone's commission in the Army were expiring. George Washington was at his wit's end, and he was camped out in Valley Forge in Pennsylvania, which I hope you know about.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Good.
Washington's Crossing.
You probably heard about the casino that's there now. And then George Washington decided to attack the British troops, which were commissioned officers from Hessian or Prussia, and they were Hessian soldiers that were stationed in the old barracks. And on Christmas, they surprised them while everybody was celebrating the holiday and routed the British troops under the Colonel Rawls was the commander and officer, and he actually was killed in action. And
I'm all for Washington and his guys, but like they got him during a Christmas party. That was
that was unique.
You got to do what you got to do.
And then he went. They retreated to Mill Hill Park, and they crossed the bridge there. And they didn't have a lot of roads going across the Assapink, and they set up camps there. And the British said, "We're going to get them the next day." So George Washington lit fires, and then took the long road up to Princeton. So when the British went to attack them across the Assapink at Mill Hill Park, they found the camps were empty. And George Washington had already escaped to Princeton, and then the British were coming up 206, which was called the King's Highway, and he routed them again in Princeton. So that was known as the turning point of the war.
And again, you guys are celebrating, jumping the gun a little bit. This is next year, but I know preparations are
2026,
already
yeah.
kind of ongoing, and you guys are, I know you guys get some help from the state to kind of celebrate this kind of, the federal government. I don't know.
Yes, the federal government gave out grant funding to the states that were involved in the historic action 250 years ago.
Right.
And so there is a Revolution New Jersey organization that is overseeing semi-quincentennial events. And the focal point is Trenton, because that was the turning point of the war. There's also battles in Monmouth, there's Morristown, there's Princeton, and many skirmishes throughout. They did more fighting in New Jersey than anywhere else.
Wow.
So
They did the paperwork in Philadelphia.
well, Independence Hall, something kind of significant happened there. I guess that was some paperwork.
Yes, that was where the paperwork was done. But the action and the battles were in New Jersey.
So celebrating
And
that,
it was also the introduction of African-American troops. In fact, on Memorial Day, we have revolutionary reenactors that memorialize that. George Washington, again, was at his wit's end. It was looking for more troops, and many black officers stepped up, and we're all part of the revolution.
and you guys are going to be marking the Memorial Day holiday on Saturday.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that, some of the details.
So that's at Locust Hill Cemetery in Hart Avenue, and they have 10 black Civil War soldiers that were buried there. At the time, even cemeteries were segregated, so there are 10 black soldiers that were buried on Hart Avenue in Locust Hill Cemetery, and then there were 60 white Civil War soldiers that were buried in Mercer Cemetery next to the train station.
Since we're going back and doing a little history here on the show, do you know how those graves were marked or how they're marked currently?
The ones in Mercer Cemetery are marked. The ones in Locust Hill became overgrown and forgotten about it. But under our administration, we were uncovering Locust Hill. We've returned it to a grassland. We hope to put a monument there. And in the meantime, we still celebrate. We use ROTC students from Trenton Central High School, and we do an official memorial service there.
Uncovering and celebrating some Trenton history.
Yeah. So Trentonians come out on Saturday at 11 at Locust Hill Cemetery, and you'll see an official observance of Memorial Day there.
Talking about Trenton stuff, talking about Trenton Central High School stuff, Johnny, I want to ask you about your experience as part of the communications department here at Trenton. What are some of the things you have been able to do? We're in the digital audio lab, and behind us, a bunch of computers. You guys do some sound editing, that type of thing?
So in this specific, I haven't been able to take this specific class, but in terms of the communication department,
Yeah.
there's so many opportunities, so many. You have different chances to join podcasts, just like this one. You have chances to help edit for the school news. You have a chance to help anchor for the school news like I do, or even behind the scenes, you can do different things with the camera work in the school news, or even most of our school events are actually recorded by students themselves.
What are some of the school news headlines that are out there? Any big stories that you guys are covering? Or what are some of the kind of daily events that you let everybody know about?
So usually on the school news, we kind of have we start off with whatever major school event happened last. So then if there was like a talent show, we may do a little bit on the talent show. And then we usually have a segment where we introduce a teacher at our school, because there's so many teachers here, there's a chance that there's almost a positivity you do not know everyone at the
Sure,
school.
yeah.
So they try and highlight a teacher every week, and different little random news stories. Like I know they usually try and add a little bit of sports in there. So today they may be talking about how Anthony Edwards is just controlling the entire NBA right now. But it all depends on what they decide to put on the script.
Or how the Knicks blew it last night.
Yeah, but honestly, I couldn't see him winning. I'm be real. I couldn't see him winning. I think they had a really good run. They did, but I didn't see him winning last night.
I don't know. People they like the Knicks before that game.
for
I don't know
sure.
what
Yeah.
everybody's thinking today. You catch any of that action?
No, I was out on some official business, so I couldn't attend to it. But
He was
yes, I
doing
heard from afar.
mayor stuff.
Doing mayor stuff, yeah.
All right, Johnny, hang out for a little bit. We're going to step aside, take a break. When we return, I want to talk a little bit about student athletes making a decision today. One of the basketball stars from Trenton Central High School will join us and talk about where she is going to continue her education. Also, we have some of the students that are putting together a blood drive at the high. So we'll talk with them a little bit also about their decision for continuing education, and I think some of them are getting into nursing and stuff. So we'll talk about medicine as we continue with our Trenton Today show on WBCB. It's brought to you by Capital Health System, Haldeman Ford, and we'll be right back to Trenton Central High School in a moment.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 20 minutes from Langhorne, Princeton, and Ewing on Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones Radio Experience, right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., directly following the legendary Jerry Blavitt. Radio, the way it ought to be.
Opinions matter, and so does yours. Hi, I'm Joe Fabrizi, inviting you to join us every Monday at 1 p.m. for Opinions Matter, right here on 1490 AM WBCB. Opinions Matter is now live streamed at WBCB1490.com. We want to hear from you because your opinion does matter.
Are you a parrot head? Not that kind. That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, this is Mayor Jeff Martin of Hamilton Township, inviting you to tune in to our monthly radio show, This Month in Hamilton. Video stream live the fourth Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. at WBCB1490.com. We will be featuring various guests from Hamilton Township to keep you up to date on what's going on in Hamilton.
Welcome back to Trenton Today. We are inside the Digital Audio Lab at Trenton Central High School, talking all things Trenton with the mayor of Trenton, Reed Gusciora, some of the students from Trenton Central High School. It's brought to you by Capital Health System and Haldeman Ford. And we now have Aaliyah Smith joining us. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
All right, so decision day today, and you also know where your future is going. What is your call? I see you got your William Patterson swag on.
Yeah, I'm going for sports management.
Nice. And you're going to be playing basketball there?
Yes.
Wow. Seems like a lot's going to be on your plate.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How did that kind of match get made? How did you find out that this was the spot for you?
Well, I was looking at D2 schools, touring them, and then our coach, the assistant coach, Coach Jeter, she used to go to William Patterson, so she connected, and
Nice.
they came to 2 games here, and yeah,
So they came out, they saw you.
on our senior night.
Did you know that they were in the building, and
Yeah.
did that kind of get your heart racing a little bit?
Not really, because the coach texted me and said the assistant coach was going to come and watch, so.
Oh, that's exciting, especially knowing that there's a coach in the stands just watching you and checking out your talent. So congratulations, that's
Thank you.
fantastic.
Sounds kind of nerve-wracking to me when you get that kind of visit, but so much on the line right there, but you made it happen, so congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, let me try this transition here. Stats are so important when it comes to athletics and sports, and the Tornadoes are getting set for a flag football contest. They're in the playoffs, so they're in action today. And can you give us some of your stats? Were there certain stat categories where you really either scoring, rebounding, steals? Or
I probably have 3 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns.
no, for the basketball.
Oh, for basketball?
Yeah.
Points wise, I have 11 a game.
Okay. I mean, some teams don't put as much emphasis on that. Other teams put a lot of emphasis on stats, and they share stats every week, every game, in and out with their players, and other teams don't do that as much. But right now, the city of Trenton is trying to capture some stats. Huh? How about that?
Absolutely.
And you guys have a new city stats initiative. Can you tell us about that? What kind of statistics are you guys trying to capture with that?
Well, right now, the way that our departments, we have 10 departments, whether it's water, police, fire, law department, health, recreation, and our directors appear before council during the council meetings, and council members are able to question them. The frustration has been is that there's a disconnect between the people, and you would think in the model of government, council speaks for the residents. This gives the opportunity for residents to actually appear and question our city directors one-on-one. And they'll bring It's for quality of life complaints, whether it's illegal dumping, roads not getting repaired, parks having safety problems or broken equipment. And so citizens, we had about 50 residents who came out to our last one, and they were able to have discussions, open discussions with our department directors.
So are these departments then going to be required to share statistics? That's kind of then the residents can say, hey, this seems alarming to me, or this is something that we need to address.
Well, the ground rules are that the department has to take action, doesn't have to solve the problem, but has to take action within 48 hours. And the results of the city stat meetings are going to be published online. So you'll be able to follow if you have a pothole on Chestnut,
Right.
and you express your concern about it. The city has to take action or have to come up with a plan of how to fill that pothole, and then when it's resolved, that also will be published.
Gotcha. I mean, you also recently wrapped up kind of a survey of Trenton residents that was on the website. I don't know how else you guys got it out there, but people were able to respond and say, hey, what is something we need to change? What's something we need to highlight about the city of Trenton? What are some of the things that came out of that?
Well, I think you're talking about the downtown association in conjunction with our city's economic development office, but it was basically how you view our downtown, what shops you like to look at, what causes you to come downtown.
Right.
And so that right now is being analyzed.
And when you guys think about those types of issues within the city of Trenton, what are some things that, areas that you like to see?
Okay. Honestly, I like seeing all of downtown. Well, let me rephrase that. I love seeing all of downtown until I have to park somewhere. Then that's when everything is an issue. But past that, I love downtown. I feel like there's so many different buildings, and they all look so nice and different in their own little ways. And I feel like Trenton is home to so many of these hole-in-the-wall places where it's like, unless you've heard about it, you'll never know it's there. But they're all so amazing. You have different places like different places downtown, like the Skillet and other little places there. I know my mom used to go to this. I believe it's like a Taylor or something near the Skillet or something like that. And she loved it there. And it's just like there's so many different places where it's like some days I feel myself almost just want to adventure around Trenton a little bit. Even though there's only 7 square miles of Trenton, I feel like there's so many hidden gems here that people don't always get to see.
So, Aaliyah, when Johnny was talking about parking, you were like, oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
something you've experienced too?
Yeah, my mom, when she parked, like when we get to get food or whatever.
Parking is a challenge. We do have parking decks, but people generally want to have a cheaper option to park, and that's unfortunately we don't have enough parking options downtown. But we are starting to invest in downtown. We put in new sidewalks, new curbing. We've trimmed trees. We've put up Christmas lights or holiday lights in the trees themselves. So we want to make downtown more inviting, and that actually plays into the semi-quincentennial, because we want to have a lot of historic tourism next year, that people want to see where George Washington walked the streets of Trenton and where the battles took place. And oh, by the way, we want to get a cup of coffee or grab a meal or a drink, and we want to provide those options for them.
All right, so many issues popping up now, because I wanted to talk about traffic and parking within the city of Trenton, but now that you brought up the tourism, maybe around America's birthday next year and all that stuff, there was some fake news out there about the hotel, and some of the people maybe wanting to demolish the hotel, and I guess that got some play. Are there serious investors wanting to move into that space and try to revitalize it so Trenton could have that hotel?
It was the fake news was not quite. Developers were invited to take tours of the hotel, and one such developer said, "Well, we're going to have to demolish the hotel and build a new one." But it was reported that
They're just going to demolish it.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's where the rub lied.
So any plan that would involve bringing that building down would also involve having a plan
Building it
for
back
a new structure that would be in that place. Does
Yeah.
that seem like where things are trending, or are there people who are thinking, wow, this is the bones of this building are good enough that we could move in here, or are you hearing mostly that, yeah, this is dated, we need to move on to something else?
Well, the bottom line, it goes down to money. So there are developers who look, the bones are there, it's a brick building, we have to gut it and rebuild. There are others that say, no, we can work with what's there. It's not really in bad condition. It just went into disuse, but it has banquet rooms, they have meeting rooms, they have guest rooms, they have a bar, they have a restaurant in there.
It's nice.
And,
I mean,
and it would be great to bring
years
it back
ago,
to life.
but I mean, it's got some charm to it.
There's actually a proposal to, there's about 190 rooms, bring that down to 100 rooms, and then have the top floor for residential housing, market rate housing. So, which would be cool for somebody like Johnny to move in, and you'll live downtown.
Right.
You won't have to worry about parking because you're already living there, and then you can enjoy the downtown by walking.
I think that's a pretty good idea, honestly, just thinking about it, because I know that there's so many different people who would want to live downtown. I feel like downtown is kind of the hub of a little bit of everything, so being able to be right smack in the center of it, living in that area would be perfect. You go outside, one day you might want to go to Dunkin' Donuts, another day you might want to go to Skillet or all these different places downtown, where it's like any other time you gotta kind of get in a car and drive over to go downtown or take a bus downtown. But living smack in the middle of it would be perfect. Go outside and do anything. It's like living in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something, the pedestrian and like having Trenton being walkable?
Yeah, that's a trend of like the Z generation now. The Alpha generation is coming. They want a walkable city. They recognize that New York and Philadelphia are way out of reach. It's out of reach for me because of how much money you need to live in a large city. This generation wants to live in that walkable, medium-sized city, but have all the benefits of a large city. So that's what we're trying to create, is that buzz atmosphere, and have places to live right downtown. On East State Street, the Bell Telephone Building was converted to apartments, really beautiful apartments. Some are one bedroom, and they go up to 3 bedroom. But it's for that person that really doesn't really care about the driving part and will deal with mass transit, but wants a nearby walkable city that they can enjoy.
Talking about a walkable city, what do you guys think about the idea that New York City has now engaged in with this congestion tax tolling, where they're restricting the cars from coming into the city of Trenton in order to reduce the amount of, I guess, air pollution and just the amount of traffic, the amount of parking congestion that's in the city of New York? Sounds like they're getting, it's working out pretty well for them. I don't know, when you look at Trenton, do you think there's just too many cars, Aaliyah? And have you heard about the New York City thing? Like,
No.
yeah, they're taxing cars that are going into, I think, Manhattan. Not the other boroughs, but if you're going into Manhattan, do you know how they even charge? Is it like by plate?
I believe it's through the tolls, but I haven't experienced it yet because I'm not a good driver above the Raritan River.
Well, you got to take the train up there.
Train, yeah, unless it's on strike. So
That is true.
I heard people were getting on the buses and everything.
Yeah.
That's quite a headache. Have you noticed, because of the taxing, the congestion things in New York City, that there have been more people at the Trenton train station, more people getting to New York that way?
I think it reverberates out. There are people that parking is very expensive in New York.
Definitely.
You're going to spend $50 to $70 a day to park there. So that makes you want to take mass transit options. And then with congestion, parking and coming into the city, that increases more pressure for people to take mass transit. But at the same time, we have to, as a state, provide more mass transit options. When we take the train, if I go to New York, I'll take the train in. It's
Pretty
congested right in the train itself, so people often have to stand in the aisles, and a seat is coveted on the train station. So we have to do more to make it mass transit friendly as well.
You know, we're going to step aside here for a little bit on the show. When we come back, I want to talk about a blood drive coming to Trenton Central High School. But before we do, I want to ask Aaliyah, as you get ready to graduate and the awards ceremony's coming up, prom coming up, what are some things that you're looking forward to, and kind of what are there any teachers that you're going to miss here at Trenton Central High School? Mr.
Mostly
Francis,
my
maybe?
coaches.
No.
Mostly my coaches and a couple of my friends.
What's your best memories here?
It's a lot. They all in my phone.
Yeah.
I have them saved, though. I have them saved.
How about these end-of-year events? Anything in particular that, I don't know, you're going to have a lot of family there for, or any big-time prom plans you have coming up?
Yes, I have a lot coming up. Graduation, party, going away party, prom, everything.
Where is William Patterson?
In Wayne, New Jersey.
Okay. Is that you don't have to travel that far?
It's like an hour, a couple minutes, 30 minutes.
Are you going to reside on campus?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart.
I didn't want to go too far. Probably max like 2 hours.
Well, best of luck
Thank you.
in your next steps. I think it's going to work out great. Thank you for being with us today as well on the show. Appreciate that. And we're going to step aside. We'll return here to Trenton Central High School in just a little bit with some of the students that are helping out with the blood drive, which is coming here next week. And we'll continue to talk about what's going on in Trenton with Mayor Gusciora when we get back to the show in just a moment.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 20 minutes from Langhorne, Princeton, and Ewing on Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones radio experience, right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., directly following the legendary Jerry Blavitt. Radio, the way it ought to be.
Opinions matter, and so does yours. Hi, I'm Joe Fabrizi, inviting you to join us every Monday at 1 p.m. for Opinions Matter, right here on 1490 AM WBCB. Opinions Matter is now live streamed at WBCB1490.com. We want to hear from you because your opinion does matter.
Back here at Trenton Central High School, it's Trenton Today on WBCB, and we are joined now by some of the students helping out with the blood drive. And Asatu, this is next Thursday.
Yes, this
right?
is next Thursday, the 29th.
All right. Tell us a little bit about your decision. This is decision day, so we want to talk blood drive, but I want to find out from you three what's next as far as education. Did you guys make a decision? Where are you going next year?
I am enrolling in Howard University in the fall down in Washington, D.C.
D.C. Awesome. That is great.
I went to school in D.C. as well, and spent a lot of time at the Florida Avenue Grill. It's a great breakfast place.
Oh, okay.
So keep that in mind. But Howard's
I'll
a
be sure
great
to check it out.
campus, and we have a great alma mater, Kamala Harris, so, who should be the president, by the way.
Where'd you go down there?
Went to
American?
Catholic University.
Catholic,
Yeah, that's a little north of Howard.
Well, what are you going to be studying? What?
I plan to be studying international affairs down
That
at.
was my major.
Oh, that's really cool.
And take advantage of the embassies that are down there and the State Department, try to get
Sure.
an internship there,
Yeah.
or Capitol Hill, Foreign Service. So,
All right.
great. Lots of luck to you.
Thank you.
DC is a fantastic city.
All right, we're going to circle back and find out more about this blood drive, but let's ask Winnie on decision day, what is next for you?
I'm committed to Middlebury College in Vermont.
Middlebury
Wow.
in Vermont.
Yep.
So how did you find out about that spot?
So me and Brianna are part of the Princeton Preparatory Program, and like during your junior and senior year, you get to tour different colleges. And last fall, we got to tour Middlebury
Nice.
and visiting it. It was very pretty. I like the opportunities that they had available, so that made me interested in it. And their financial aid package is also really good.
It's cold up there.
Yeah, it's very cold. It's
You
right
like
by
to ski?
Canyon. Yeah, I don't know how to ski though.
You have to learn because they have great mountains up there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
So Asatu, Winnie, and Brianna. Brianna, how about your decision on decision day? Or actually, you guys made these decisions
Yeah.
prior to today.
Yeah, we
but-
did. I'll also be going to Middlebury College with Winnie in Vermont, and I'll be studying neuroscience.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Smart kids here.
I mean, right now you're just starting on your journey, but are you hoping to be a doctor, a nurse? Do you have a professional aspiration that you're thinking of?
I'm still kind of debating whether or not to do pre-med, because Middlebury has a great pre-med resources. So I guess when I get on campus, we shall see what the answer is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What are you thinking in that regard, Winnie?
At Middlebury, I'm gonna be majoring in molecular biology, and after I want to do biotech as a career.
So get into a lab, doing
Yeah.
sciencey stuff.
We're impressed.
Definitely. You guys sound really deep into the science
Thank
field
you.
and
Thank you.
come from someone who barely made it out of science class. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then your future job will be to talk about the science that she's doing, which is a challenge in itself.
Yeah, talking about the science, doing the science. It's at this point, it's all the same and it's all hard to do, but you seem to be good at it, so I'm definitely gonna take lessons.
All right, so how did you guys get involved with the blood drive? And tell us a little bit more about that. Asatu, circle back to you. This is next Thursday.
Yes, this is next Thursday.
Johnny was saying he had an experience last year where he went through the blood drive process, and they're still reaching out to him and trying to make sure that he's doing his part.
All the time.
So I've had a similar experience too. The last 2 years I've signed up. I've also been unable to donate, but I still love signing up and going. But as for the blood drive, how it got started, I don't know specifically what year they started the blood drive here at TCHS, but Mr. Yaris, which is our volunteer club advisor, we're all a part of the e-board, along with Mr. Mr. Carcella, a PE teacher here at the school. They both team up with the American Red Cross, and we host it here. It's biannual. We have one in the fall as well as the spring.
All right, so Winnie, sometimes people have a certain reaction to getting their blood drawn. My brother, he goes regularly and donates blood, but he also has, I forget what the medical term is, but he faints at the sight of blood. So, I mean, not all the time, but if he cuts himself or something and he can sometimes be like, and just have a reaction to that. Are there going to be donuts and orange juice and all that stuff? That's kind of part of the blood drive experience, and that's the fun part, I guess.
So at our blood drives, we have different stations. So the first one is like signing in, and then the second station are like our snacks. So we offer juices, we offer biscuits, basically sweets that'll cool people down. And adjacent to the snack station, we have mats where they can like lay down for like 15 minutes
Nice.
before going back to class.
Get everything like
Mhm.
equilibrium back or
Yes.
whatever. Get your
Yeah,
blood balance back.
I definitely did see that table before
Yeah.
they told me I had low iron, so I couldn't donate. But you know, it was nice for the 5 seconds I
Thank
was
you
in
for
there.
showing up.
Mayor Gusciora, healthcare within the city of Trenton. I mean, is there a robust enough emergency response for residents throughout the city? And I mean, I guess I'm kind of responding to some of the hospitals that have closed.
Well, the healthcare model has changed. People go to urgent care, so that cuts out. Also, recovery time has quickened, and so less and less people are staying a month in a hospital or weeks in a hospital. They have outpatient surgery. So a hospital model is becoming more and more obsolete as medicine advances. There was one time we had 3 hospitals in our city. Now we're down to 1, but it's a major facility, and their expertise is in cardio care and trauma, and so it's good. They have nurses, a nursing school from Thomas Edison, Mercer County, from TCNJ, and we have a big pool of nurses that are able to get jobs in the Capital Health system.
Now, there was a lot of talk when some of the hospitals were closing that they would be reopened as medical offices, or that kind of, is that happening?
Yes, and most likely. St. Francis, right now, Capital Health still runs their emergency ward, and that's the only unit that's still viable at St. Francis. Nonetheless, it still sees a lot of patients, and it's part of the Capital Health network now. So Capital Health took over that emergent care. There is a developer who came in to look at Mercer Hospital on Bellevue Avenue, and they want to do kind of like a senior all one-stop care and shopping. So they'll have medical arts buildings to take care of those seniors. And so that's an exciting project. At least the vision of it is there, and hopefully will be implemented.
All right, talking about exciting projects, the Greenwood Avenue Streetscape I saw is coming up on May 29th, and that's just kind of is it a beautification thing, a cleanup deal, or it seems like there's a lot of elements to that?
It's all of the above. It also will have biking options, traffic calming, and to make sure that it works with a growing city.
Traffic calming, but that's making people go slower
You'll
through
see
that area?
hourglass walled carving and things like that.
I need traffic calming sometimes
Yes.
when I'm out there.
Well, you see it because a lot of people come to city stat and they'll complain about speeding through their neighborhood, residential neighborhoods, and we've installed many speed bumps as traffic calming devices.
Gotcha. All right, well, you guys hang out for a little bit if you don't mind. We're going to step aside again and continue with the show. Johnny's with us. It's decision day. We're getting ready for the unofficial start of summer this weekend and wrapping up an awesome school year. We've really appreciated being here at Trenton Central High School and all the students we've been able to interact with, the faculty that have helped us out, all the great staff support that we have gotten. And now we're going to move from this location, I think maybe back to the mayor's office. I know last year we were doing some things at Slam and Brew, which was, that was fun. That was right in Center City. So I don't know what the summer is going to hold, but we will not be here at Trenton Central High School because they're wrapping things up. And we really appreciate being here, not just this year, but it's been, I don't know, 2-3 years that we've been doing our Trenton Today thing at the Digital Audio Lab, and it's been great. We're going to step aside and return, talk more about what's going on at Trenton Central High School to wrap up this year in a moment.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 20 minutes from Langhorne, Princeton, and Ewing on Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Hi, this is Mayor Jeff Martin of Hamilton Township, inviting you to tune in to our monthly radio show, This Month in Hamilton. Video stream live the fourth Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. at WBCB1490.com. We will be featuring various guests from Hamilton Township to keep you up to date on what's going on in Hamilton.
Are you a parrot head? Not that kind. That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny-O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones radio experience right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., directly following the legendary Jerry Blavitt. Radio, the way it ought to be.
Opinions matter, and so does yours. Hi, I'm Joe Fabrizi, inviting you to join us every Monday at 1 p.m. for Opinions Matter, right here on 1490 AM WBCB. Opinions Matter is now live streamed at WBCB1490.com. We want to hear from you because your opinion does matter.
Welcome back to Trenton Today from Trenton Central High School, brought to you by Capital Health System and Haldeman Ford. Hanging out with the mayor of Trenton, Gusciora, some of the students from Trenton Central, talking about the blood drive next week and all the stuff that's going to wrap up this school year. Any particular senior event that resonates with you still?
Well, I'm no longer allowed in the prom, so but I've gone before to as one of the adult greeters, but we're not allowed in.
Like I think the prom is kind of forgettable. It's such an exciting night. There's a lot of anticipation, and everybody
You don't
dances and
remember
has a
your
good. Not that much. I mean, mostly I remember everyone shaking hands because they were all in their tuxedos and be like, wow, you look good. You look good. That was like a half an hour of the prom, and everybody saying, "Oh, you're dressed." Like that
But
was like
it is heartwarming.
That took a while.
To go to Decision Day because you see the students come out and are proud wearing their school gear, their college gear, and graduation is also exciting as well.
A Decision Day event happening later today. What are you guys expecting from that? Johnny, are you going to be emceeing? They should give you a microphone, I think.
I'm actually not going to be emceeing. I kind of wish I could.
Me too.
To be honest, I feel like
Come up with some jokes.
For sure. I feel like Decision Day is going to be a very fun event, seeing all these different people and what colleges they're going to. And I like how some people, like me, for example, they have like their college merch on right now, but then some people have like jackets over it, so you're kind of like still trying to guess where they're going and things like that. But I'm honestly really excited for it. I can't wait to see how it's gonna go, the different people who's going where, and definitely gonna try and find my way to have a little fun with it for sure.
I mean, one of the graduation events that I feel like I remember a little bit more notable was graduation itself. Maybe because that time of year, there's always storms and weather, and there was like a thunderstorm coming, and but you guys do your ceremony at Cure Arena. Looking forward to that. Us too. This is a big class for Trenton Central. We were just talking about the growth of Trenton, the growth of Trenton Central High School. You guys are going to have a lot of people at the Cure Arena getting recognized. I'm imagining you're looking forward to that.
I am.
Now, are you getting any awards? Are you going to be like, I guess they don't do summa cum laude, but National Honor Society, sometimes they'll recognize that, different events, groups, clubs that you were involved in.
Valedictorian and salutatorian.
Right.
And they honor a lot of students themselves. The students give speeches, students do performance. So it's really a celebratory event in Trenton.
Who is the valedictorian? Do you guys know?
Funny question.
Is that you?
No. Brianna
Johnny?
is our salutatorian.
No.
But valedictorian, he's in our class. His name is Javon.
Oh, wait, I missed that. Did you say Brianna is the salutatorian?
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
Wow.
Can we hear a little bit about that? Salutatorian is
Yeah,
big.
salutatorian.
So the valedictorian does a speech. Does the salutatorian also get to
Yes.
make an address?
Yes. Luckily, I will. Hopefully, nothing changes. Yeah.
Are you nervous for it, or do you think you got it
She'll
down
be up on
pat?
stage.
I think I'm ready for. I think this is one of my middle school dreams. I was
Okay.
actually the person who's valedictorian this year. We're both valedictorians in middle school,
Wow.
so it's always been a tie between us.
Oh, man.
So it's always been something I always wanted, and thanks to God, I'm gonna have the opportunity to represent my class.
Oh, yeah. So what was that like as you guys like came down the stretch? Did the other student have like a little bit of an edge on you? Did they take like one additional honors class? Like what was the difference?
That's the difference. He took 4 APs this year, and I only could do 3, so that was like the main difference.
Wow. Okay.
That's it.
Well,
Came
congratulations.
down to a comma.
Came down to 2 letters, AP.
Yeah.
So the subject of your address, have you thought about what type of message you want to share? I as much as I don't recommend it, I always love like a spicy valedictorian or salutatorian speech. Like every now and then you hear people will choose some controversial topics to talk about and stuff.
Well, I haven't thought much about it yet because we prepare for it next month, actually, when they make all the final calls and everything, who's going to speak. But I definitely do know that my message is going to be something around saying thank you to my grandma, because I think she'll be coming from Guatemala just to see me graduate. So I know that some of my focus will be on her, but just also congratulating my seniors.
Absolutely. All right, so you guys, not valedictorians or salutatorians.
No.
But if you guys were in that position, what would you want to share with people? You're ready to go already.
I think my first thing would probably be like, haha, I made it. That'd be my first sentence. And then I'd probably go into a more serious topic.
So for like all the people who doubted you.
Yeah, it'd be like, I'm here, you're not.
So it's a pretty good idea. I think I'll probably end up doing the same thing. I'm not someone who likes to be 100% serious all the time, so I feel like I would probably start off with a little joke, then be serious in the middle, and then end it off on a fun note, because graduation is all about having a good time. I think that a lot of people just think you graduate and then you leave, but graduation is probably, in my opinion, one of the most important times, because you get to go around and meet all these people before you go. So I feel like that's really the time to make these connections. So why not joke and have fun about it?
Yeah, and as much as it's like the end of something, it's the beginning of like a whole new journey. Winnie, any thoughts on what you might say if you were up there?
I feel like my message would be centered around like staying true to yourself, because I know we're all leaving high school. We're about to be open to so much experience, and I feel like it's so important to stay true to your values, yourself, your family, and also advocating for yourself. Because once you're in college, you basically have you only. So make sure you advocate for yourself, the resources you need.
Definitely.
Maya Angelou spoke at one of my graduations, and she said, always consider rainbows, which I'm still, so okay, that sounds like some good advice, I guess. Any public speaking advice for it's kind of somebody in politics and
I think Winnie said it best, be yourself and just be honest and bring your, what makes you the person you are. And in your instance, I'm sure you've been influenced from afar, your grandmother, and you've adopted her values and her determination. So lots of luck and love to all of you. That's great.
Thank you.
absolutely best of luck in whatever is next. So did you come here from the Palmer complex today, Mayor Gusciora?
I did.
The Capitol complex
Yes.
is now the Doug Palmer Municipal Complex, recognizing the first ever African-American mayor in the city of Trenton.
Wow.
And I know that was kind of done a couple of weeks ago. We had some stuff on
I think
WBCB.
it's more than that. He was an accomplished mayor that was here for 20 years in office, and he was good at building coalitions and getting things done. So I know as mayor, it's just often difficult and a challenge, and keeping everybody together. And the biggest challenge is unifying the city. So Doug did that with ease. He's a natural salesperson, and so I concurred that we should name the building after him. And it's always good to recognize somebody while they're still alive, and it also gets them to continue to contribute and continue to visit City Hall because they'll want to see his name on the building.
Well, wrapping things up here, one other thing I wanted to ask you about, Trenton Waterworks, again, in the news, and you wrote something that people can check out on the Trenton website that talks about the importance of maintaining ownership of that Trenton Waterworks, the historical significance of that, and mentioned that you feel like it shouldn't be changed because of decree, or I forget what about a referendum, though? Is that something?
Ultimately, it would either have to be approved by council or by a referendum. There was a proposal once to sell the waterworks. It would bring a lot of money into the coffers, but the problem then is when you privatize something or you sell it off, you get that initial savings, but when that money runs out, you no longer have that income stream.
Then you're paying for
and
that
then
service.
you're paying for the water, yeah.
Well, I want to thank everybody for being with us, hanging out today. Best of luck in what is next, Decision Day at Trenton Central High School, and Memorial Day weekend coming up as well. Have a great summer, everybody. Thanks so much to Brianne O'Neill, our video engineer, to Montanel, to Johnny, Dante, Mr. Francis, who all were hanging out today. I think I got them all, and to all of our student guests, really appreciate it. This has been Trenton Today, brought to you by Capital Health System and Haldeman Ford on WBCB.